Let's react to this one.
Men can't conceptualize that women are single by choice because men are rarely single by choice. There are, of course, always the exceptions, but this is speaking in grand overarching terms. The vast majority of women that I know that are not single because they're not being chosen. They are single because despite the DMs and the countless, who is she? What's her deal? Can you give me her number? Can I get to know her? They are still choosing singleness because the vast majority of us have recognized that men do not have a good return on investment. I would never take a business deal that would require more of my time and energy and really not offer me anything other than that person being in my life as a return. It's just not, the math isn't mathing. I was in a relationship that I left, not because he was a bad person, not because he did anything wrong. He's a wonderful guy. I just decided that I wanted to, for the first time in a long time, feel what it was like and see what I could do with only using my energy on myself, my children, my friendships, and my businesses. And that's been a couple months in the running now, and things have been skyrocketing. I am choosing singleness because it is better for my future, for my children's future, and I am happy and more at peace being single than I have been in any relationships, even the wonderful ones that I've been in. And when I am ready to date again, if I'm ever ready to have partnership again, it will be when I feel that that is something I want to add into my life. And also when there is someone that I deem worthy of sharing this space with me. But until then, I'm going to continue thriving in this energy by myself. And I would appreciate if the males would stop using this tired old narrative that women are not being chosen when the reality is we just don't want y'all. Thank you for your time.
You know, I like these videos because these videos always help me reinforce my own ideologies. I've said this, I've said this countless times too on this live. I'm a big supporter in women staying single for the rest of their life, especially women like this. Big supporter. I hope that you can be single and raise productive adults. Just stay single. Don't deal with the man. Get out of the dating market completely. Because here, women like this are toxic in a relationship. Women like this will only hurt a man. And this is why I make these kind of videos about I want men to understand, have this kind of mindset, understand this stuff. Where know what type of women you're dealing with. Know what type of women you should not deal with. And no wonder that this is a baby mama. No wonder. A single mom. With this mindset, this absolute ego, absolute narcissism. But this is why yo, Parasol Show. Thank you for coming anyway. This is why I'm an advocate of women that are like this, just to stay out of the dating market. And I want more and more men to recognize that these women are red flags. Let's react. Let's break this down.
Men can't conceptualize that women are single by choice because men are rarely single by choice.
Here's the thing, and she'll point it out. I'll show. She's not single by choice. Because here's the thing. She said she dated great men and all this stuff. Cool. But you didn't date men that you want. That's the thing. That is the point. You didn't date men that you want. You didn't want any of these men, even though they were great men. You didn't date one of these. Because what makes it single by choice is that if there was a man you want and you still chose not to be with him, now it's single by choice. Where you choose to not even deal with the man you want. That is single by choice. So you're technically not single by choice when you disqualify all the men that you dealt with, whether they're nice or whatever. That makes still, that doesn't necessarily make it single by choice because there are good men out there. It's just men you don't want. You are single by choice if you choose to not deal with men you would want. None of these men you want.
There are, of course, always the exceptions, but this is speaking in grand overarching terms. The vast majority of women that I know that are single are not single because they're not being.
And also, here's vast majority of women you know. It's like that's a drip in the bucket. Because statistically, most women in the US are in relationships. So most women aren't single. Right? I mean, the majority are in relationships rather than the minority. Yes, great. This honestly, I always find it idiotic that women think that they're talking in general when they're actually talking very personal. It's the majority of women you know, not the majority of women.
Chosen. They are single because despite the DMs and the countless who is she, what's her deal, can you get.
And yes, I think single by choice with men are a bit different. Okay? I think men are single by choice that are different because men have a different perspective. There will be plenty of women men want. Men can want plenty of women. Men just choose not to want it. That's the thing. Men, if they have, if men have a chance to pick a whole bunch of different women, let's say the Leonardo DiCaprios of the world, he can choose a wide range of women that he wants. He chooses not to, or he breaks up with them, or whatever. Right? That's the difference between men and women because what men want, what women want, are drastically different.
Give me her number. Can I get to know her? They are still choosing singleness because the vast majority of us have recognized that men do not have a good return on investment. I would never take a business deal that would require more of my time and energy and really not offer me anything other than that person being in my life.
What is your children? You pretty much just said your children then. It's like, then you might as well throw away your kids. Because what's the return on investment for your kids then? You pretty much, it's like your time and effort. It's like, that's your kids. And the absolute insanity of these single moms. You know what's best for your kids is a 2-parent household. That's what the best for your kids.
As a return, it's just not, the math isn't mathing. I was in a relationship that I left, not because he was a bad person, not because he did anything wrong. He's a wonderful guy. I just decided that I wanted to, for the first time in a long time, feel what it was like and see what I could do with only using my energy on myself, my children, my friendships, and my businesses. And that's been a couple months in the.
What's the return for your, it's like, what's the return with your friendships? What's the return for your children? What's the return with your family? It's like, I swear to God, women are. They're very idiotic. Because here's the thing. Why isn't your friend? Why isn't your husband, your man, like your friends? Why is it not? Why is it not like your family? Because he essentially is your family. So here's the insanity. You would do shit for your friends. You would do shit for your family, and then what is it? Doing shit for your husband or your boyfriend. It's not a return on investment. That's the insanity for me. Does that make sense to you? Make that make sense for me, please. Because I seem disconnected to that. Because what's the return of investment in friendship, in family, in children? That's different in the return of investment for your man, your husband. What's the difference? Please, internet, or women who maybe probably not watch this, right? What's that return on investment? This is why, honestly, women prove more often than not they're not logical. When they think that they're being logical, they're not. Because their argument is absolutely stupid. It really is. Because I cannot fathom, please tell me, these other kinds of relationships, your children, parent to children relationship, your friendship, friend to friend relationship, your family. What's the difference in those things between husband or man? What? What is the difference? It's absolutely idiotic.
Running now, and things have been skyrocketing. I am choosing singleness because it is better for my future, for my children's future, and I am happy.
That is not better for your children. This is a thing where, this is why I said single mothers only produce either more single mothers or men that create single mothers. Because here's the thing, you are not showing your kids any kind of healthy relationship. You are showing your kids, hey, it's fine to have kids with someone and just be by yourself. Is that a good image for your kids? This is honestly why I say women are terrible role models. Women are only 100% selfish. Because insane that you think there's a return on investment for friendship, for family, for kids, but for a man that loves you, provides for you, protect you, that essentially makes you his world, there's no return on investment in that. When your friends, great. I mean, maybe women's friendship is different, but they're your friends. They're not your partner. At the end of the day, they go home to whatever their life is. They have separate lives to you. But God forbid women think that, friendship is better than a husband. Because hell, your sisters, your brothers, your mom, your dad, at the end of the day, you're an adult. You're not a child. So they will live their own life. You will live yours. I just think that women are just ridiculous. It's just, they show their selfishness. And here's the insanity. Here's the insanity. And she'll say something. She'll say this soon when she's ready to go back in the dating market. The sad part is that there will be a man that will accept this. They will accept her older, more bitter, more selfish, more traumatized, more just at her worst, while she still expects men at their best. There will be a man. I don't know how this woman is, right? She's probably in her 30s, if that. There will be a man that will accept her in her 40s, in her 50s, so on. There will be a man. That is the sadness.
And more at peace being single than I have been in any relationships, even the wonderful ones that I've been in. And when I am ready to date again, if I'm ever ready to have partnership again, it will be when I feel that that is something I want to add into my life. And also when there is someone that I deem worthy of sharing this space with me. But until then, I'm going to continue thriving in this energy by myself. And I would appreciate if the males would stop using this tired old narrative that women are not being chosen, when the reality is we just don't want y'all.
You aren't being chosen by the man you want. I'm not saying being chosen by the man that you don't want. No duh. You're not being chosen by the men that you do want. But again, I'm more, like I said, shit like this gives me more credence to what I said. I want more men to realize that women like this, they only qualify for being single. Because you think this bitterness, this selfishness gets better over time? You think when she hits her 40s, her 50s, she'll be a better partner? No. Women get worse over time, especially when they're single, especially when they have years of singleness, years of being only thinking about themselves. So, yeah, they don't get better over time. That's something that men need to realize too. And I hope more and more men realize that, nah, why am I not dating a woman that's in her 30s, her 40s, her 50s? Why? Because I ain't dealing with that shit. I ain't dealing with that bitterness. I ain't dealing with this selfishness where, oh my God, I spent these years focusing on myself. Great. Don't change it. Stick with that. You wonder why men are not necessarily, men at a certain age aren't necessarily dating women at that same age. Because men are tired of getting women at their worst when women are expecting men at their best. No. Absolutely not.